Alright, so I'm on my way out, and it was a nice time. I heard a number of things. I heard a few owl sounds in the middle of the day. I heard towards the very end of the day, as I was leaving, after dark, because I didn't really hear much wildlife, I suddenly started hearing birds, maybe 2 different birds. And then just now, as I was on my way out, there was like a whippoorwill, like right inside the woods, that started making that sound right next to me, and I actually recorded it. That'll be at the end of the video. So it was a pretty fun outing. I heard one more quick whippoorwill sound there. There's another one, real faint. So cool. There it is. See ya. There it is again. So cool. Thank you, Mother Nature. So I think I found some cool stuff. Hope you enjoy the video. And that's it. All right, let me get back to driving. Head to Wawa and get a burger. My sister paid for it for me. All right, so right where I parked, interesting start to today's excursion. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe somebody watching would know what that is. Looks like maybe an ear or something right there, huh? It is the woods, it is the forest, and there's some sticks around. I don't know if any of them look like any significance. Kind of peeking around as I was looking at that, thinking that almost looks like a large bone, but I think that's wood. Not really looking to dig into bones and stuff too much, but it's an interesting start right here. That tree looks interesting. And anyways, what my plan today is, I literally just picked a place on the map that I've never heard of, never been to. Just a place I thought looked like there might be some interesting stuff. And so I'm gonna just do a little exploring. It's early afternoon, and just see what I can find in a place I've never heard of. And it's not even a very big forest. Not the kind of place you would really expect anything, but that doesn't always mean that there won't be, so there we go. First thing I'm noticing before I have gone anywhere, apart from literally where I parked, is a stick that's kind of hanging up right above whatever that is on the ground. I didn't even notice it until now. But yeah. Very cool. Right here, if you can see that. Very interesting. All right, so right at the beginning, there's like a couple trails I could choose from, and I saw this curved right at the beginning of this one. So I'm using that as an indicator to check out this direction. Pretty neat. I noticed, I don't know if it almost looks like something there, or it might just be, there is another couple tree little, look at that. Beautiful. And directly across from that, I see this. Looks like a tree that was pushed over, or maybe blown over. Hard to say. All the roots up and stuff. I feel like when they're broken a few feet up is more unnatural looking than when their roots like this come up. But looks like nothing else has fallen. And it does look old, so maybe someone watching this will have an idea, but it is interesting that it's directly across from that. So I kind of wanted to just do a pan around. I know some people like to watch and just see what they can see. Beginning of the video, some might think that if anyone was here, they probably know I'm here and they're probably watching. I did notice right there, looks like a snap tree. Kind of looks like the bottom of it's next to it. And then right here is kind of an interesting sticks there. I don't know if that could mean anything. But then there's that little possible arch right there. And then I'm kind of sitting here looking to see if it maybe looks like that could be a trail there. Otherwise, I think I do know of a maybe more clearly marked trail. I'm definitely liking this spot. It just seems really cool so far. Here's a slightly closer look at this. Definitely interesting. Doesn't look too old, I don't think. I mean, maybe, but just up here, it doesn't look really old, I don't think. And then just right over here, we noticed interesting little fire with some eggs. That's different. I also noticed a little ways away there was a tub with looked like chocolate ice cream just left out. So I'm thinking I'll start there, see if that looks like a trail. Not looking to get lost, so if it's not a clear trail, I'll check the other way. Still not quite done with just this very initial area that I'm starting at, because of these. And once again, I'm going slow, looking at the ground, but just thought that was interesting. This, with most of the bark peeled off, kind of leaning up in there. My coffee right through there, and yeah, pretty cool right here. A little stick there leaning. That looks maybe snapped right here. So, pretty interesting start, I think. On the way in here, I did notice a couple interesting looking sort of stuff, you know, the typical. I'm seeing these markers in here. I don't know what that is, hunting. But this is kind of interesting too. This, I just moved that a little and it kind of doesn't look like that grew there. Maybe it did, it was hard to tell. I don't like to mess that stuff up too much, but there's a bit of stuff kind of all around the bottom of it too that you can see. And I do notice this broken, so maybe there's a correlation with that and that. Certainly very old, but it would make me wonder if this was maybe placed there. Just don't think it grew there, personally. It kind of looks tucked in there, right there. So kind of just having a look around the area too. Maybe one of you will see something or hear something. Speaking of hearing, I should probably just be quiet for a minute. I always say a minute and it's like 20 seconds, but. Definitely sounded like a couple faint possible footsteps or movement that way. Very faint though. It almost sounded like a little tiny knock. Not an obvious one though. That almost sounded like almost mumbling, once again really quiet. Just describing what I'm hearing. That mumbling, whatever, what it sounded like would be that way. It's like, which I've heard before. That's why I describe it that way. Here we have a little bit more, kind of like the disturbed. Someone told me that wild hogs might do this. It's kind of definitely interesting through there, just interesting. There's a really thick sort of trunk that's snapped right there. And here we have some limbs. It does kind of seem like a lot to have in one place. I don't know. No definitive anything about how they could have got here, but yeah. Did notice right here, some of this moss stuff is kind of knocked off from there. Looks like maybe it was around there. See it down there. Just kind of looking, getting a sense. And that's my stick there, so it's not. So yeah, just taking it in here. Just on the other side of those, all these limbs. And that kind of intrigued me a little. This. See that on the ground. And then there's that one. It's getting a little more interesting as I look, I think. I don't see straight up anything that looks like it would be the obvious source of these big limbs. And then, oh my goodness, it looks like right there, some huge arches. If you can see those, whoa. I feel like when I see those, that kind of is one of those things that's probably only got one way that they could have been created. I don't think trees just bend that way naturally, no matter what. Like if something falls, it's not gonna make this nice neat bend out of a tree. It'll just snap it, knock it over, or it'll just bounce off. So yeah, there we go. I'm gonna go take a look at those. All right, so that's, here we are on the other side. That is definitely interesting right there, that curve. And the other one's sort of curved with it. It kind of has that, like part of the tree just connecting with it right there, which also is kind of, but then I saw this below. Now, if you take all of this together, this does not look natural right here at all. Amazing. It's like these pieces were placed here. Those are kind of just hanging off it right there. Sort of a little pile of, like a stick leaning up there. There, and then just look at the way all that is with that one and these two kind of curved. Definitely looks a bit old maybe, but with these, take a look at that. This one has like these, I don't know what growing out of it. Almost looks like, I don't know, scratches on it. And then here's the top of it. That is cool right there. I don't know what that is. A palm tree that fell over or something. When I looked, I tried to see from this side. It doesn't look like it was rooted or like the roots came up or it was snapped. So, I don't know. Could it have grown sideways like this? Because it's still alive. Just wild looking from back here. I just saw this and was like, what is that? Looks like it might have been there a while. That's crazy. Right, it's really cool. Like there's these open areas like this. There's kind of, if you can sort of see what looks like a trail I came from through there. Right there, it's sort of clear, and then there's almost walls like this. And but I'm just really, there's not a clear mark trail here, so obviously it's not a trail a lot of people go down. I don't want to go too deep into the absolute thick of the wilderness. That's just not the best idea. Could run into something, hogs, bears, whatever. But God, this is cool. So I figured I think I'm gonna turn around here and go back and check out the other thing that looked like a trail, and sit here and listen for a second. Almost sounded like a few faint taps. Not sure. That was like boom, boom. Huh. Hear that? Is that like a woodpecker? It's definitely not rhythmic. There's a couple more. Oh. That's like I don't know, flying object or something. Or obviously a falling object too. Could have been something that fell. Greetings. Like I've been saying out loud, walking along, not trying to sneak up on anyone, not trying to sneak a shot of anyone through the video, just exploring. If you haven't watched my other videos, I typically speak out loud, I share my intentions, and I wish whoever might hear me goodwill. And definitely some sounds from over there. Not sure what that could be. Not really feeling much of anything, although maybe a subtle feeling like I'm not alone, which I kind of think is pretty common. But when you're, kind of out in it, I mean, it's definitely quiet. It's a broken tree thing right there, limb. Of course, some could fall naturally. That just landed there. Might have just fallen from up there somewhere. Just observing. There is a snapped branch right here. Limb on that tree, which is pretty alive. I find that kind of unusual, honestly. That would be snapped right there. A young limb like that. Oh. I think it gets a little more interesting when you look at the bottom here. Down there. Let's see some more. You can see where that's broken. A few of these there's a few branches all sort of put in there. Definitely some sporadic taps or something coming through out there. If that's anyone out there that can hear me, and if those sounds happen to be for me, which I kind of doubt, but I appreciate it. Thank you. Bless you. I don't know. I have honestly no idea. I don't know what that could be. Definitely something making that noise, someone. Genuinely not sure what it was, what it could be, but if it could possibly be a Sasquatch making that sound, and it could possibly be for me to hear, I do want to say thank you. Just be respectful. And for me, just hearing them, anything like that, to me, just feels like an absolute honor and a blessing. Just me. All right, I think I'm gonna check out that other, kind of go back and see if that other trail looks a little more definitive. I'm just not loving the idea of getting way too out in the deep of this thick Florida wilderness. Oh, there's another sound. All right. Some people are definitely gonna say this boy is having pareidolia, but as I was just walking, I saw this bounce in front of me, this tiny little Y. And for all I know, I could have kicked it, but when I saw what was moving, I realized it's like a perfect little Y. So I don't know. Maybe I just kicked it, but I found that interesting. Definitely heard that. So, yeah, pretty cool either way. I don't know. Might have just kicked a little Y stick. Took a quick look up from where I found this right here, just on the ground. And I noticed that right here, another snap tree. And looks like there's the part that snapped off right there on the ground. I don't know if there's anything definitive about that snap at all, but interesting either way. I mean, I'd probably think, unless it's really old and brittle, that enough wood to snap that would, I mean, wind would probably snap some of these other skinnier ones around here. So I saw the first one of these that I've seen snapped, and of course, that might be a big snapped one up there, right behind it. So maybe it was done intentionally. It's probably about, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 feet up. My head's probably right there, so maybe 4 feet, 10 feet. And I do notice also a branch that's just hanging right there. Each of these things on their own might not, but when I start seeing a number of them together, it gets more interesting for sure. I love exploring like this. I'm just looking kind of over there. Just those couple limbs through there. Just kind of oddly there. Noticed that on the ground. Almost stepped in it. I don't know if you have a size perspective. I'll show you, not huge. Maybe deer, wild boar, what do you think? Here's a pack of cigarettes, so not massive. But I definitely think it's cool just finding other wildlife. I saw this really cool bird flying. I don't know what it was. It was big. It had kind of like the tail was like a V, not like a hawk or like, you know, literally like, kind of like a V. Really cool. There's what is that, a squirrel? So I just, on the way back, I just came across this little area, and this place kind of sealed the deal for me to look at things and say I think that they were done by hand. Starting with this branch that's kind of hung up there, you can see the end of it there. Then you have this, which I've seen something like this before. Kind of this hanging Y stick, sort of shaped like a Y. I don't think it's necessarily intentionally a Y. And you have one of those big palmetto leaves just hanging there. See the bottom? But it doesn't end there. Go over it this way. You have that. That's what actually kind of got my attention at first. Just, I don't know what you would call that, but it looks kind of like a structure, especially with stuff like that right next to it. To me, it's kind of interesting a little bit, but also there's that, just, I don't know, stuff hanging. Things that just, they don't look like they would necessarily get hung up, I think. You can see sort of hanging there, but then there's also this curved piece right there and behind it, and just a lot of stuff going on. You can see that. So, yep, I think I have found a place that the forest people have been at one time. Not sure about now. There's that one that I first saw that was hanging from this side. There's stuff hanging up there. I feel like I noticed patterns of things hanging a lot. Just unusually hanging. Even that sort of thread of wood and stuff going there, and a lot going on here, in my opinion. That's the back side of that one. So yeah, wow, kind of like a little, right there. Just kind of staying around, just some other people watching might see other things that I don't. Ground below me. I guess, yeah, really cool. Like always, I'm loving exploring. There's all that up there. Some more stuff hanging up there. I'm kind of noticing this stuff as I'm filming it. It's wow. Learning, trying to understand. And yeah, it's cool. If anyone watching has explanations for all this, if you could see how all that, I mean, to me, it's gonna be hard to explain a curve like that, but you know, if you want to explain how all these could be natural, that one's got a curve to it too. Sound like a little knock. If you heard that. Just on my way out, I just saw this, and it kind of just looks neatly put together to me. Really neat. This one right here, because you can see there's a lot of that stuff on the ground. This almost looks organized right here. And then even this little, it's hard to see, but just this, those sticks there. On the way in, I actually walked past this right through there is where I just was. And even from on this side, just a few things that, when all taken into consideration, look a bit like structures of some kind to me. totally missed it. I remember actually walking through here and went right past this. I think it's just cool looking. Of course, there's some broken limbs and stuff, but I just think it looks cool. I don't know if any of you watch and sees anything in there. There's that way. Thick jungle, huh? Little just, I don't know, like a mix of vines and hanging branches and look at this. I think that's a huge tree that goes that way. There's just so much going on here, but right through there, it's like a clear opening. Perfect little shelter of some kind. Wow, and just cool looking. I'll leave it here for a second in case anyone wants to look at it. Before I leave from here, I did notice that right there. I am certain that you're not going to be able to see anything. It's the way cameras are, but here you could almost say there's some impressions here. I'm sure it's very unclear, but right there almost looks like foot shaped, but this is definitely not the type of dirt that's going to show much. Pretty cool though. All there. I figure not many people, anyone that's made it this far into this video, I'm gonna just do something quick that I often do. I've never really done this on a video, but ooh. Anyways, and I don't know much of this, but I'll just do a little bit of it. Sort of just an offering of mine. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. It's just something I find, you know, I'll be out exploring and I'm thinking, what can I find? And sometimes sort of the thought, ask not what the Sasquatch can do for you, but what you can do for the Sasquatch comes to mind, and I just try to think of something like that they might appreciate. Of course, I'd appreciate something like a knock or a vocal, but maybe there's stuff like that they would love to experience or hear, you know, that we can bring to them. So I do a lot more of that usually, but figured I'd capture a little bit of it on this video. Really loving the vibes right here in this little spot. There's that fascinating, I don't know what, huge tree trunk and just a lot going on. And I just felt appreciation for anyone that might be here that's allowing me to pass through peacefully. Think I'm going the right way. I can see my map, and I do know I'm heading the right direction. But this not very clearly marked trail, I'm just winging it. I intentionally didn't go too far because I don't want to get lost, but thought I would just film a little bit walking through and just see what I might see or hear. Sure is quiet, isn't it? Love this time of day. Not a sound, huh? Birds or anything. It's beautiful out too. I'm in a t-shirt. Huh. Some old stuff, isn't it? That looks old to me anyways. It's just cool, right? Like, look at that huge tree that's just... weird. I don't really like to mess with stuff. It's a plastic bag over what looks like a little snap tree. Interesting. At least that's what it looks like. I get the feel that there's hunters that come out here. Get the feeling. All right. Nice and open here though. I like that. You know, make plenty of noise. Walking around. A lot of this is a bit flattened out and I feel like it's not from people. At least human people. What's that? I don't know. Probably people that market for when they get lost, I'm guessing. Oh, look at that. Okay. All right. Guess that answers that, huh? Probably walking past a trail cam somewhere, I would imagine. All right, so just decided to sit here for a couple minutes. I'm still not even back yet to go check out the other trail. I actually kind of went slightly out of the way. I could see on my phone where I need to go, but I realized I sort of went the wrong way for a little bit. Interesting. Maybe Linda or someone watching can have some insights on that. You always wonder if, you know, about every little step of a journey like this. As I sit here, it's kind of open where I am, and man, it's almost like, almost makes me feel of like a jungle gym, like all these vines going up there and coming down there, and just these right next to me. They look kind of fun. What I thought I would do is just sit here and I'm having a cigarette right now and just listen for a couple of minutes, and once again say thanks to anyone that might be here that can hear me. And I know I and anyone watching this video would love to hear something. to see if I'm able to put this down. Still see. So I can relax for a second. My hand's shaking. There we go. I don't know if you can turn it that way just so you can see. I don't know how far you can see. I can't see the screen, so sorry if it's a horrible view. Sure is quiet. If anyone is around, thank you. It's wonderful to have you around. sitting down. Easier. Right in front of the camera, I think. Love the quiet. Except for the plane. I'm kind of close. I think this is sort of in the beginning when I was looking down. If I went a little further, this is where I would have come up. I sort of came out through that way, came back. I noticed this kind of interesting, possibly bent tree. And hard to say with those. I noticed those branches were curved, and just this whole shelter-ish looking. It's pretty cool. Found the, I don't know if you can hear that. Very faint owl calls, like a barred owl. See if it does it again. Oh. This kind of sounded like a knock type of sound. Not gonna go for very long here because the sun's not low, but it's getting darker. Anyways, definitely heard a couple of those barred owl type calls. I don't know if that's normal for them to call in the broad daylight like this or not. Here at the beginning of the trail, there's this sort of stick that's kind of threaded through here. It's pretty neat. A little further, another snapped tree. There's the surrounding trees. And then there's another sort of, just bunch of sticks sort of piled up right next to it. Still got some color, so, but the way that snapped, I don't know. Just this sort of pile of stuff that clearly has been here a long time. But I also noticed right behind it, it's like a trail. Looks like it was blocked off. It looks like a trail there. I'll probably heed this warning and not go that way because the trail I'm on goes that way, but sure makes you curious. few more of those tap sounds. Knock type of sounds. I'm not sure what they are. I'm on the other side of that. The trail clearly goes around it. And it's pretty well worn, so I'm gonna say that has been there for quite some time. And the trail goes this way. There's some beautiful flowers to start the trail off. Not sure what those are, but wow. Beautiful. I'll go down there a little bit. Check it out. Hearing more of those taps. Saw this sort of leaning tree. Thought that was kind of interesting from a distance. Nothing really definitive about it, but if you look up, the sun's kind of there. Let me see if I can. Right there, that thing, look at how it's snapped right there. Wow, that's crazy. And it just goes up to the top of that. Almost looks like the bottom of a tree up there. I can't imagine it is. But I'm assuming that's like the top of another palm tree that snapped, and wow. So, kind of just looking around here. Ooh. Sounded like an owl sound. If you heard that. See if another one comes. Was. Either Florida has owls in the daytime, or they don't. I like it. Right across the pathway, and it sort of has that bend and then straightened out, like maybe it was bent a while ago. See a lot of, I don't know, just these palmetto leaves and disturbed dirt. I have a feeling it's busy out here at night. Looks like, yeah, it just looks like a lot of the ground has been walked on. It's almost like a little X right there. The only wildlife I've heard so far is some owl sounds. Stick just hanging right on that. Oh, there's some kind of like cricket thing going now. Walking path, so I'm trying to see if I can see like tread in that right there. It's sure foot shaped. But there's another, I would have to say, is sort of foot shaped here. But like I said, it's it's definitely a path, so. But pretty cool either way. It obviously wouldn't be cool if it had obvious tread, but I'm not seeing it. Let me stand right next to it and see what my foot does. Here's mine. Okay, mine's not Mine does have more of a pointy toe that doesn't, I don't think. But kind of cool. Tiny bit further, here's one more that's about the same size too. It's not huge. It's probably the size of my foot. But it does kind of look heel and then wider. So maybe it's a footprint. You should be able to see that, I think, too. Note a lot of the times you can't see stuff in video, and then that's in front of it. Nothing standing out to me from here. A lot of this on the side of the path. I kind of checked some of it out and it was a bit swampy. Man, there's a lot of impressions there. Guessing wild boars, deer, who knows what else. This whole place is, you look through here, there's a little bit of water. More, I guess it's more like a swamp. I don't think I'll go down there, although as much as I'd love to look around. Just past, you can kind of see that water. Looks like a big tree busted right there. At least the top of it. I can't even see in between those. You can see the part of it there. Wow. But coincidentally, now I'm seeing, whoa, I got something else to show you too, but I'm wondering, is that different or is this all the same tree? I was thinking, was one cut and then, but now you can see that. But anyways, this, whoa. I'm thinking that's gotta be boots, right? I don't really want to step into that. But wow. Are those boots? Shoes? It looks shaped like a shoe, but I saw these and was like, whoa. For one thing, I'd want boots. But, look at that. You can kind of zoom from here, which is good. I'm thinking that's gotta be someone's shoe. But I don't know. Right next to these broken trees, and then over there, there's almost right there. It almost looks like there's something in the middle, like that's an impression, and you could almost say, it almost looks like, as they say, the mid-parcel break. I don't know, but interesting for sure. I see I don't know, wow. I'm thinking that, I don't know. Are they shoes? Is it obvious to you guys? Is that shoes? I mean, those are some holy moly deep impressions. But I guess it could be someone that just passed through with boots on and wanted to go in there, and there's only, maybe that's the only way they could pass through. So, pretty cool. Anyways, I could kind of tell you could get a little closer from the edge. I don't know why somebody would walk through when you could just walk over here where it's, but anyways, I think I do see tread in that, possibly. So, there's one right there. Sure is deep. Because I'm standing right here. Here's my shoes. There's my footprints, and there's those. There's one more. I went way down. I mean, I would have just walked right there. You can kind of tell you're not going to probably sink. I'm not going to try because I don't want to sink, but anyways. But I also did notice right here, coincidentally, looks like a bend right there. And there's this, and I think that's the roots from a different tree. And here's one that's across it. I went across. Definitely an interesting spot. And there's under it. Some small impressions, maybe deer or something. Once again, there's those. I think there's a tread in that one. But right next to it, that was me standing on it, barely sinking in. Some kind of bird. So I just went past this. I don't take things like this lightly. I asked permission, I sat and listened. And I'm gonna, from here forwards, just be aware, alert. Just in case I feel like someone back here doesn't want me here. There sure is a lot going on around this. But I'm not gonna be here too much longer. The sun's getting lower. And if you look through, you can kind of see that bend right there. Interesting little spot right here for sure. There's that other tree that kind of went that way, then these, looks like those are the roots there, right across the path. I can tell you one thing, just past, if you can see those across the path right there, it's definitely interesting after those. Definitely has that vibe to it. And if it wasn't all swampy and stuff, I might consider going off path a little and having a look at some things that I've seen. I don't see much right here, but just back a little ways I did. And I was looking somewhere in there, I was seeing something. I'd say this would be a great spot for some Sabe people. There's a bird way up there. I don't know if you can see it. Here it goes. Right, we have another sort of interesting palm tree. It's kind of bent again there. I think I will, there's like snapped off right there. That's what it looks like down the trail. Thinking I will stop here, listen for a minute, and head back. Saint owl. Big movement through there. All right. Start heading back. Just listening. Something moving a little bit out there to my right. Oh, another sound. To my left. All right. Just caught the end of that owl call. See if we get another one. It's much closer now. Wow. Wow. Totally daylight. From that way. Just as I'm about to leave, huh? And here's the first bird sounds I've heard all day. Another tree kind of sideways through there. Or it looks like maybe part of a tree. That was very, very cool. I think that was a perfect ending. I don't know if this will be the end of the video, but at least for me to turn around. And thank you out there, whoever made those sounds. Barred owls, Sasquatch, bless you, thank you. A little wind coming now. Definitely have never heard those barred owl sort of monkey calls during the daylight. That sounded like more than one. That is so cool. There's a limb just hanging right there. Definitely feel like I found a very, very cool area right here at the end of the day. I don't know what that could be, but I do see a curved limb going across. All I know is it certainly makes me wonder what's down that way. Maybe next time. Again, on the way back. There they are. I didn't barely went past those, and it's almost like there's too many sideways trees here. There's like, looks like a couple through there going sideways. Over there, there's a couple. Looks like a lot going on. There's that big palm tree that's kind of at an angle, and Look at all those down there. Even this pile here is kind of interesting. Really cool. I think I'm kind of zoomed in here. Yeah, there we go. Man, it's still bright. You can see how, I don't know what, like the sun, I'd say it's, gosh, probably another hour before it's dark, at least. Seems like lots going on here. We got another 20 feet and I wanted to film some more of this little section. If you kind of look dead center, there's sort of a big, possibly bent tree. Another one there. It's just kind of cool in there overall. There's another close one here that's sort of bent. There's that big one at an angle. There's this side. Let's see a horizontal tree through there, a couple feet off the ground. Ever since I passed that, I feel like it's just gotten kind of interesting in here. There's that one sort of wedged in there on that left side of that thick trunk. Cool looking little swamp right there. Swamp-ish. Another owl sound. So cool. All these little... Another owl. Hopefully you guys can hear that. Here it is. Kind of get a look at it. Walking up to it. It just looks like a lot going on there. Love it. Anyone that's here that can hear me, thank you for allowing me to pass through peacefully. I really appreciate that. I respect that. Thank you. Blessings. Almost sounded like a little grunt kind of sound. Like, But I don't know. I'll have to listen to this again. See if I actually heard that. Trying to keep my ears open and just take in the sounds. It occurred to me, I had recently interviewed Brother Littlefoot, and he said something about he'd hear them go, basically after he finished the thought, like them kind of acknowledging that they heard him. That is freaking cool. I'm not sure if that's what I heard here, but figured I would share that anyways. I'll find out when I listen. Once again, thank you. All right. Here we go. Limbo time. Is this on the ground? I don't know if this is natural, like whatever that is, if they do that, but it's kind of cool. It's like a Y. Don't know what it is, but just noticed. Definitely some of this is sawed off. Probably at least got rid of whatever was completely blocking this. And there's those footprints again. I think they're probably boots, but I guess I'll leave that in there in case they're not. Just gonna film a little bit on the way out. Pretty cool, huh? Thick jungle. Quiet jungle. I gotta watch the ground, it's not a smooth path. Might as well look behind us. I can't really see very far. Can actually almost hear the silence. I don't know what that just was. Reminds me of a sound I've recorded in the past, though. First I was thinking maybe an engine, and then at the end of that I just thought it was almost like a deep voice. I'll have to listen again, but I feel like I recorded something really similar. Maybe I'll put that in here if I think of it while I'm editing or remember. Now I'm kind of trying to be quiet so I can hear that if that happens again, what that was. Just inclined to try to leave quietly and listen on the way out. Trying to be quiet. And then if I hear something, kind of listen for a second. Is that tree again? That sounded like a chipmunk or squirrel. Hoping that, trying to keep people in mind who aren't able to go out and explore. I hope that you're enjoying this. I'm gonna have to listen to that right there again. Kind of sounded like I heard something similar to what I remarked about before. Not sure though. Very faint. Looks like somebody trampled all over the place, doesn't it? That cool tree through there. Bird right there. Probably can't see him. There's back. There's that way. And I'm back to the beautiful flowers. And that. It looks like someone had a party here. And if it was a dinner party, I'm assuming that probably starts up after dark, so I'm not planning on being on the menu. Sure what that is. Wind, I think. Or might be a vehicle out there too. I'm not too far from where I parked. Walking by here and I noticed right there, kind of center of the screen, you can see quite a little ways. If I had more time, I might be tempted to walk that way and check it out. What a cool little forest, though. I'm recording now because I thought I started hearing some stuff. Before I head out. Greetings, thank you. If that was someone back there, thank you. Haven't really heard birds or anything all day, except for a couple owls, and now that the sun is down, some bird sounds. All right. So cool. I just started up the car and all those sounds stopped. It's almost like the birds hung around and gave me a little symphony before I left. Pretty cool. Wow, this is so cool. Right on the side of the road here. You can probably see right there, right on. Hello. Greetings. Thank you. I wonder if I back up, will it oh, sorry, didn't mean to light you up there. The light just came on. Wow. Let me do this. Sorry about the light. Okay. It was nice hearing you. Wow. You see, there's the road. Right on the road. Whoa. What was that? That was crazy. Very cool. It's like that bird just flew away and was like banging its wings together or something. So cool. Thank you. Thank you, Mother Nature. What a gift. It's like a whippoorwill making that sound right next to me. Kept going.